our commitment, values, and those values really that we hold so dear together. Let us defend free speech and free expression. Let us protect religious liberty, including for the most persecuted religion on the planet today. It's called Christianity. And let us safeguard our sovereignty and cherish qualities that have made each of our nations so special, incredible, and extraordinary.
Caroline, it does appear to be sabotage with the escalator and the teleprompter. What is the White House going to do about that?
Well, Jesse, that's definitely what it appears to be to me, and that's why I put out a statement earlier. There was some concerning reporting over the weekend from the London Times, as you pointed out, that UN globalist staffers were basically plotting to set up the president of the United States. And first it was the escalator, then it was the teleprompter, and then Katie Pavlich from Town Hall, who we offered a seat in the press pool to cover the president's historic speech today, noticed that the audio inside of the room was much lower and different for the president of the United States than the previous speaker. So when you put all of this together, it doesn't look like a coincidence to me. And I know that we have people, including the United States Secret Service, who are looking into this to try to get to the bottom of it. And if we find that these were UN staffers who were purposefully trying to trip up, literally trip up, the president and the first lady of the United States, well, there better be accountability for those people. And I will personally see to it, Jesse.
Good.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, there's a story going around about a secret SIM card farm. And the Secret Service was the one who busted up the secret SIM card form that was being used to anonymously threaten the President of the United States of America. But I want you to listen to these reports and listen to what the SIM card forms they said could do. Now, one of the reports said that the SIM card form could shut down the cellular network. Another one said that it could threaten, they could send anonymous messages to threaten the President of the United States of America. And I just want you to realize that this shit they're saying don't make no sense. It just don't make no damn sense.
And we begin with those sophisticated devices found at 5 separate locations within miles of New York City, capable of disabling cell phone towers and anonymously conveying assassination threats against senior U.S. officials. Chief investigative reporter Jonathan Dietz is live in the newsroom with these startling details. John, what have you learned?
Gilma, important to note there was no specific plot and no arrests have been made. But several searches across the tri-state area turned up so-called SIM card farms or SIM card servers that, if misused, could have the potential to jam cell phone towers and interfere with communications across our region.
No specific plots, no specific threats, but if used, they could possibly use to hurt our nation.
This development comes as the UN General Assembly is meeting and the Secret Service is taking extra precautions. Photos released by the Secret Service show shelves of devices that could send out millions of messages to cell phones all at once. 300 servers, 100,000 SIM cards discovered. While there are legal communication purposes for technical setups like this, Homeland Security investigators have been looking into whether some of these SIM card farms are set up in part to help foreign actors or criminal groups communicate. The investigation began in part because there were apparently several anonymous threats to the president and other White House officials. These anonymous threats came from overseas.
Wait, am I tripping? Or did this Negro just not say there was no threats? Did he not start off by saying there was no specific threats? You see what I'm saying? Hold on, let's rewind. Let's take it back to, am I tripping? Or did y'all hear that too? Watch this.
of New York City, capable of disabling cell phone towers and anonymously conveying assassination threats against senior U.S. officials. Chief investigative reporter Jonathan Dietz is live in the newsroom with these startling details. John, what have you learned?
Gilma, important to note there was no specific plot and no arrests have been made. But several searches across the tri-state area turned up so-called SIM card farms or SIM card servers.
No plot, no arrests made.
Misused could have the potential to jam cell phone towers and interfere with communications across our region. This development comes as the UN General Assembly is meeting.
See what I'm saying, y'all? These people think we boo-boo the foo-foo. So there was no plot, no arrests have been made. And then he gonna turn around and say threats were made against anonymous threats were made against the president of the United States. Well, son, what? Keep listening.
And the Secret Service is taking extra precautions. Photos released by the Secret Service show shelves of devices that could send out millions of messages to cell phones all at once. 300 servers, 100,000 SIM cards discovered. While there are legal communication purposes for technical setups like this, Homeland Security investigators have been looking into whether some of these SIM card farms are set up in part to help foreign actors or criminal groups communicate. The investigation began in part because there were apparently several anonymous threats to the president and other White House officials. These anonymous threats came from overseas, apparently using this system. The Secret Service issued a release statement earlier this morning.
Following multiple telecommunications-related imminent threats directed towards senior U.S. government officials this spring, the U.S. Secret Service began a protective intelligence investigation to determine the extent and impact these threats could have on protective operations.
Important to note, there are numerous additional SIM card farms all across the tri-state area, but whether any were set up for foreign actors or criminal groups, that remains unclear. Again, no arrests, but the Secret Service taking precautions, raising awareness by announcing the discovery of these SIM card server sites this morning.
That don't make no damn sense. That don't make no damn sense. Are you with me when I say this don't make no damn sense? Tell you what I think happened. Tell you what the hell I think happened. I think there was a plot to go at Donald Trump's head in New York because the UN General Assembly is in New York. I think he was headed to New York and there was a plot to try and bust his head wide open in New York. That's what I think the plot was, to take him out in New York. You know it's already full of Muslims as it is. Yeah, I think there was a plot to take out Donald Trump in New York. Because none of this stuff they say adding up, oh, he got anonymous threats and it was some foreign actors, but then they're taking down all these cell phone servers. But then they also tell you there's many of cell phone servers around the United States of America and other areas, SIM card servers. Well, what the hell you need a SIM card form for in the first place? You see what I'm saying? What? Hold on. Let's see what a SIM card form is used for. Hold on. Let's get another perspective on this.
Yeah, so you can't drive into Manhattan. That's just a no-brainer, right? Take the train, all of that. But, you know, one of the fun pieces of color that we learned last night was that Emmanuel Macron got stuck in his own, he's got his own caravan of service agents. He gets because Trump's caravan, of course, his motorcade takes precedent. And what did he do? He got on the phone in the middle of Midtown Manhattan and called Trump and said, hey, can you speed it up and get to my hotel?
What is this like for the New York Police Department and other first responders? Is it, I mean, I get they get overtime pay. It's like if Michael Barr has to extend to 12 noon, it's the same kind of largesse. But is this something that the NYPD looks forward to, or is it one gigantic headache?
Yeah, no, I don't think any cop looks forward to having to stand at a foot post on 58th Street or on 40th.
Break important news. This, Miles, on one of the mysteries for Americans, which is our Secret Service and their agents. Tell us about this new news.
Yeah, so just about 3 weeks ago, Secret Service agents in New York uncovered a SIM farm. That's basically a warehouse full of SIM cards that could basically cause havoc to the telecom system. Basically, if all of those SIM cards were to dial 911, it would completely jam up the telecom systems in New York. It's something that we saw during the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013, right? All those people are calling 911 and therefore the system goes down. In this instance, they believe that a foreign adversary was operating these SIM farms from about 35 miles outside of New York City in multiple locations, and that the goal was to disrupt the United Nations General Assembly, the high-level meetings week that's going on now. And it's also believed that this same SIM farm is connected to threats made against senior Trump administration officials, and that they believe that they originated from these cards. Big task for the Secret Service to deal with, in addition to protecting 150 world leaders as well as their spouses.
Do we have any idea yet, Miles, from your reporting, who may be behind this?
Yeah, so, they believe that there is a specific nation behind it, but the Secret Service took great pains not to say which one, because it's United Nations General Assembly week, and Trump will be meeting with leaders from nations, that have dealings with nation they believe is beyond.
Is it true, Miles, you're going to be directing traffic today at Lexington and 56?
Well, we know who that is then. We know exactly. If it was Russia, they would have said it's Russia. You know exactly who the hell that is. The same one that's been spying on America that calls themselves our ally. It's them. It's the same ones. If you go to their nation as a Christian, you walk down the street, they're going to spit in your face and they're going to slap you. The same one that we giving all our damn money to, because for some reason we believe and we've been taught that we supposed to take care of them, even though they're the ones who crucified, stoned, whipped our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We know who the hell they talking about. That's who the hell that is. That is Israel. Same one that's been screwing everybody over. The same one that is speculating whether or not they killed Charlie Kirk, which I don't know if they had anything to do with the death of Charlie Kirk. I thought it was mighty peculiar that Netanyahu had to come out 2-3 times and say, it's preposterous that didn't kill Charlie Kirk. It's preposterous. Really, dog? Like, really? You didn't whack the man. You didn't whack the man. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even got to come out and address it. Somebody asked you, did y'all have the 9 kill Charlie Kirk? What's wrong with you? I wouldn't do that. But you come out 2-3 times talking about it? Nah. That's who that is. Plain and simple, that's who it is. Moving on to the next story in the news. Bill Gates calls on Trump to invest 1% of U.S. budget in global public death. Global public death. For that, we get the system that detects disease, and so would see pandemic early. It wouldn't stop it from coming. It would stop it from coming here. You know that's the crap he's selling Donald Trump right now, right? You know that's the crap he's selling. Donald, I don't understand why this man ain't in prison. I don't get it. I know that Robert Kennedy Jr. know what's up. I don't understand it. This is a man that should be under the prison. But I'm of the mindset that you need to get rid of certain other people in government before you can take down a globalist such as him, who has corrupted and compromised people. The deep state must be penetrated. The deep state must be taken down. Something got to happen.
A lot for this 1%. Remember, it's just 1%. If you ask most people, they'd say, oh, it must be 3 or 4%, but it's not. Yeah. It's 1% is what we're asking for, and that's what there's a potential they'll cut even below that. For that, we get the system that detects diseases. And so it would see a pandemic early and would stop it from coming here. It's also hopefully in our moral values that lifting these countries up, helping them be healthy so they develop their own economies, so they develop stability, they're part of the world economy. We had Rick Warren at our event last night talking about the religious principles involved. He was talking with the Muslim leader about how all religions have this kind of golden rule. And we're saying, hey, 1%, that is a good thing. And in no way does that the other 99% is there for domestic use.
And I want to get back to this administration. You said at the beginning of Trump's second term that,
you would think that him and Gail, well, Gail is sold out. Gail is completely sold out with Oprah. But you would think that this Negro right here would have heard about Bill Gates being a eugenicist and about all the things Bill Gates did in Africa. See, this is the thing that pissed me off about Negroes when they get on television. The white man is the devil. The white man is evil. The white man is racist. It's systematic racism. And then the number one terrorist against black people all over the planet, black and brown people. They like to say black and brown and black, brown, and indigenous people. He's the number one terrorist against black, brown, and indigenous people. And you get on TV and you don't check him about nothing. You see, this is why I probably couldn't have my own show, because I would have surprised him. I would have had the clip up where he said, we have CO2 equals this, and, there's people and there's carbon in this, and one of these numbers are going to have to get to zero. I would have played that and said, well, excuse me, Mr. Gates, which one of these numbers need to get to zero? And then he would have looped and I said, no. Because the way we take this, us normal human beings, us enlightened individuals who pay attention to what's said, we take this as if you are saying that you want population control and you want all humans to die. Is that what you stand for, Bill Gates? Or are you sitting here saying that you want people to die? Well, no, he'll be like, no, I'm not saying that. Bill Gates never says that. Bill Gates never says he wants people to die. I'm Bill Gates. I love all the people. Well, Bill, how come you poison all them people in Africa? How come, Bill, when the people in Africa hear about the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Bill, that they run? That's what I would say. Now let's see what this fake, it look like he got a damn skipping uniform on, suit wearing Negro.
that you were impressed with his interest in global health. You have spoken with him more recently. Have those conversations given you more optimism? Or are you still as confident in his interest in global health?
Are you still impressed?
Well, he spent quite a bit of time talking to me about these global health issues, and the demand on his time is, near infinite with wars and tariffs and, so many things going on. I don't know how it's going to come out in the end. I've talked to him about the principles involved, and it's a modest amount of money. I've assured him that, if we're engaged, we'll make sure that money's spent well. In fact, we can save, 10% or so pretty easily and still achieve our goals. But, right now it's a political question. When you say American first, can you still have the charity for that 1%?
All right, well, we hope Congress shows its values, as you said. If my life or my child's life depended on Congress showing its values, I don't know I feel that reassured. We'll see.
And the world leaders are meeting this week for the UN General Assembly. I'm sure these topics will
I'm
come
encouraged that you have hope. Stuff.
I can tell you like this, Donald Trump better not. He better not announce that he gave a damn dime to Bill and Melinda Gates. That would be his poll numbers tanking by 10%. He better not. Donald, you better not. You better dare not give that devil a dime. You give that demon a dime, it's going to be bad news for you. Terrible news for the Trump administration. The next biggest news story is at the UN, them showing how easy it is to get to the president of the United States as him and Melania head up the escalator. The escalator stopping, which was a security breach, and the teleprompter going out. Now, if you listen to his speech earlier, he mentioned these things in the speeches, and he made light of it, but it's something that we have to take extremely serious. And I was worried about him going to the UN building because it's full of demons, like literal demons. I explained to you probably early in the first video that the United Nations was the modern day reflection of the people of the city of Babel, where they tried to build the Tower of Babel. They were the first, Babel was the first New World Order, a one world government that was trying to be constructed. And now this is that same thing. United Nations is a version of a one world government. It's demonic in its nature. It's anti-God in its nature.
So when Trump went to the UN today, the passive-aggressive, pedophile, kleptocratic world government, carbon tax, COVID lockdown tyrants played every trick in the book, other than a banana peel on the ground for him to slip on. They turned the escalator off when he got on it. Then they broke the teleprompter. Then on multiple feeds, they had like Lithuanians or whatever piping in on his audio. I'm surprised they didn't have Casper the Friendly Ghost throw a pie at him or something. So, but that's the left. They want to be your teachers. They want to be your lawyers. They want to be the regular. They want to creep around because they're cowards and never have a fair fight.
I was hoping you had some of the Alex Jones.
And I agree with Alex. You notice that it's always this slick creeping. I'm gonna hack you. I'm gonna do this to you, but they don't want to meet you head on, or they got to gang up with 20, 30 different people and come out in a giant crowd and gang up and like Antifa. Hold on. Here's Charles Downs. Charles Downs is out. And look at what Antifa does him. This is them. Face covered. Groups of people. Masked up. But you see, they want to be able to bully you, but when the really bullying come out, when people really get active, then they won't back off. I'm going to show you all the one with an Amazon driver who, at the end of the day, they was blocking where he needed to go to work. And when he got active, then they backed off. They was afraid.
How's it going, everyone? Anti-Trump protesters with the Antifa flag waving in the march are currently marching to the White House to protest President Trump's signing of the big, beautiful bill. We're going to walk together through the angry mob of anti-Trump protesters who chose to spend the 4th of July protesting Trump and the holiday itself. As you can see, all the signs look eerily similar. Who would have thought that? And yes, the roads are closed. I am literally standing in the middle of K Street. You would never be able to stand in the middle of K Street on a normal day. But rules don't apply to anti-Trump protesters in D.C. as they can close the roads all they want. All they want. We're at the front of the march now. So stay tuned to Lord Luna and I's account for more exclusive footage.
Now, Charles, I ain't gonna lie, you seem like you about a retard, Charles. I'm gonna need you to be safe out here in these streets, man. Yeah. You seem like you a little lightweight, Charles. You don't look like you could throw a rock. You don't look like you throw a punch. Now, Charles, I'm gonna need you to be careful out here with these terrorists, Charles, because they terrorists. They are terrorists, Charles. Headed over to Gateway Pundit to follow up with my man Antonio Grasafo. Antifa allies under legal threat. Trump designation makes supporting Antifa a crime. Yeah. It means supporting Antifa makes you a terrorist sympathizer, and they are terrorists. This is the most beautiful designation there was. Now that we see that they can be treated as terrorists and arrested as terrorists, I'm interested in seeing how dedicated they are to the cause. You see, it's easy to be dedicated to a cause when you know that nobody's going to arrest you. Now we're going to find out what Antifa truly is about, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see if Antifa want to smoke. Antifa is a loose network of militant activists rather than a single centralized organization. The name comes from anti-fascist, but its adherents often appear to define fascism as anything they oppose. Many are anarchists, standing against all forms of government while also claiming to oppose white supremacy, nationalism, authoritarianism, racism, homophobia, xenophobia, and capitalism. They frequently were images of World War II U.S. soldiers to suggest that they are carrying on that legacy, implying the Americans who do not support their cause are betraying the memory of American heroes. Yet there is no fascist party in America today. Fascist candidates last appeared on ballots in 1930s, and there are no major political figures or movements advocating for totalitarian state or the abolition of the democratic institutions. There does not even appear to be evidence of a small fringe group openly calling themselves fascists outside of these people. Now, here's the beauty of what's about to happen, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to have a great appreciation for it. So all of the NGOs that were currently being investigated for what they did with the money, now that they followed their money trails and Antifa has been designated as a terrorist organization, any NGO that ended up funneling money into Antifa now is supporting terrorism. It just takes some time for us to get the enemy. And it might just take for Pam Bondi to get fired for us to get everything we want. You know how the Q people like to say, the stage is set. Dark Waters, you don't know what you're talking about. The Q board said the stage is set. Yeah, trust the plan, Dark Waters. Trust the plan. Oh, you don't understand. Q board DICK 4389 said that Antifa must be allowed to burn in the streets, and then later they will save them for second to last, and then last is Israel. Shut your ass up. Shut the hell all the way up. Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Pam Bondi got to go. Pam Bondi got to either handle her business or she got to go, because that is the damn holdup. On to the next piece of awesome news for the day. Although it's great news, but it's chock full of lies as it pertains to what happened, but we will take the victory. Breaking: YouTube says it will bring back creators wrongfully banned for political speech during the Biden regime pressure campaign. Now, if you were to think back and hearken your mind back, prior to Joe Biden being elected in office under the Trump administration, YouTube was banning channels. So if your channel had to be banned under the Biden regime to get restarted, many of the biggest brands that were destroyed under Donald Trump. Donald Trump's under his first presidency, he was banned. Remember, he was banned from Facebook and he was banned from Twitter by Jack before Elon bought it out, and Jack ran over to Thailand to do whatever he's doing with people in Thailand, allegedly playing with bananas and ladyboys. So the point that I'm making is, oh yeah, YouTube is giving in. They say they're going to give up, but they're lying. And here's why I say they're lying. Let's read what they said. Make sure this is scrolling on the screen. It's scrolling. We're seeing things. Disclose TV just in. YouTube admits to having censored people during the COVID pandemic and for political reasons, offered terminated creators the opportunity to rejoin the platform. Oh, great. Awesome. Yeah, baby. Watch this. Breaking: due to our oversight efforts, Google commits to offer all creators previously kicked off YouTube due to political speech violations to return to the platform. That's very important difference. All people. And then here we go. Jim Jordan. YouTube also admits the Biden admin censorship pressure was unacceptable and wrong. Confirms that Biden admin wanted Americans censored for speech that did not violate YouTube's policies. The details when YouTube began rolling back its censorship policies on political, I guess, policies on censorship policies on politics, I guess. Next thing, Jim Jordan, during the Biden-Harris years under the White House pressure, YouTube changed its policy to censor political debate on COVID and elections. YouTube admits that censorship pressure from a Biden administration admin was wrong and unacceptable. Here's the problem I got. The dude keeps saying the same crap over and over and over and over and over and over again. This is to sum it up. This is another victory in the fight against censorship. In August 2024, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg wrote the committee a letter admitting Biden admin pressured Facebook to censor Americans. Facebook censored Americans. Facebook throttled Hunter Biden. Blah, 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 blah. The problem I have with this is, you said they won't pin all this on Joe Biden because he's a scapegoat. But what the hell y'all was doing when Trump was first in office? Huh? What were you doing when Trump was first in office? You were censoring and banning people. And then here go the crazy thing. Because, for example, me, There was a time period where I lost 77 million views. 77. Right now I have I want to say I might have 200 million views, close to 200 million. I should be at 250 million views. I lost 77 million views, which equated to $54,000 that was taken from me because of these stupid policies. Are they going to give me my damn money back? No, they're not going to give me my money back. They took that advertising funding and funded some leftist organization. They stole from me. Just like they stole from many of these other content creators when they demonetized them. And then you click over there and you just, the way you can tell how they're screwing you is when you're demonetized, don't log in to your channel. Don't look at it from a non-logged in account, like a guest, and then play one of your videos. And you'll notice they'll run advertising before your video and advertisement after your video because they steal from you. So I'm glad that YouTube has decided that they're not going to be tyrannical a-holes. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you for being an American company. But I have the feeling that this has to do with the UN trying to force you guys to censor people the same way they tried to force Elon Musk to censor people, the same way they arrested that young man from the other organization. And we've never heard anything else about him again. He traveled to London and they arrested him. It was Telegram, maybe. Traveled to London, arrested him. Gone. Where's the Telegram CEO? Anybody heard anything else about the Telegram CEO? No, you haven't. Gone. And so now here comes Sundar Pichai. Hey, I'm Sundar Pichai. Eating with his hands. I'm Sundar. I'm Sundar. I'm Sundar. Donald Trump, we need your help. They're trying to take us over with the UN. Oh, now you want our help. Now you want the president of the United States help, but you enabled these a-holes by being cowards. And I know they told them, we're going to nationalize your company. There's nothing you can do. And they had Biden in there. Biden probably said, man, they probably thought Biden would nationalize their company. But they don't understand. Had Biden nationalized Facebook or YouTube or whatever the hell he nationalized, they would have got it right back. It would only expose their enemies more. But you know what? Screw it. It doesn't matter. Why am I saying this? It doesn't matter. It's over. Thank you, YouTube, for bringing back the creators that were canceled. Maybe I can get a few of my other accounts back that were blocked and canceled. Maybe someone like the Black Conservative Patriot can get his original channel back with millions of subscribers. There are plenty of, maybe Alex Jones will now come back on YouTube, which would be a fantastic victory because he ruled YouTube. It was way easier to watch Alex on YouTube than quite frankly it is to watch him on the website. But I watch him whenever I get an opportunity, wherever he is. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button.